This is the 96th day in the Hamas-Israel war, and I'm Yair Pinto, reporting to you from Israel. I was thinking for a moment before I start and share a series of challenges and dangers we experience in the Gaza Strip. Let's start with Khan Yunis, which is the main city in the south of the Gaza Strip. The nature of this territory requires two different operational methods in combat. On the one hand, we are operating in the heart of the city in a densely populated urban area with the aim of hitting the centers of gravity of Hamas, which includes control centers, an attempt to locate and harm senior officials, and of course, an effort to locate and rescue our hostages. The operation in the eastern and northern outskirts of Khan Yunis is of a different nature and entails quite a few dangers for our troops. The area is different, and the fighting takes place in a more open area between small houses and agricultural fields in areas that for years have threatened the surrounding Israeli communities near the fence facing the center and south of the Gaza Strip and are considered one of the main areas for Hamas's rocket launchers in the Gaza Strip. The mission in the south of the Gaza Strip is significantly different from the one in the north, and now the forces are focused on reaching the senior officials who are hiding deep underground. We, and when I say we, I mean my unit, the fighters of the Reserve Brigade, the Kiryati Armor Corps, secure the Kisufim corridor that leads to Khan Yunis, while securing the Salah al-Din road that dominates the strip from north to south. My brigade is working against the northern terrorist battalion of Khan Yunis, and at the same time against the terrorists of Gaza City. I tell you, we detect in every second house in the area the presence of weapons or terrorist capabilities of the terrorist Palestinian organization Hamas. More than once, we encountered schools where Hamas terrorists are hiding. The enemy is determined and tries to follow the soldiers, us, everywhere we go. We encounter squads that try to strike from underground tunnels. The assault takes a few seconds as a terrorist pops out, fires an RPG, then hides back in. In Khan Yunis, there is no innocent infrastructure. We encounter terrorism in almost every house, in hospitals, in public buildings, and we even received fire from a United Nations building. In the depths of Khan Yunis, in the previous day, the 98th Combat Cruise expanded its maneuver and conducted out attacks during which approximately 40 terrorists were neutralized. A wide variety of weapons were located, including significant shafts leading to terror tunnels. The fighters of the IDF's commando formation are operating in the heart of the Khan Yunis area. During their activity, the forces uncovered dozens of shafts. While they were scanning a shaft in the area, a squad of terrorists came out of the shaft and threw charges at the forces. The fighters returned fire and eliminated the terrorists. Among the weapons that was found by the fighters of the paratrooper brigade's combat team were 12 AK-47 rifles, 4 loaded RPG launchers, dozens of grenades, and vest cartridges. The fighters of the Maglan unit in Khan Yunis raided a terrorist cell and conducted a very complicated face-to-face battle. They found weapons, guns, grenades, ammunitions, and intelligence materials, and Hamas combat doctrine inside civilian homes. This includes study booklets on how to use weapons, grenades, explosive charges, and other ammunitions. In the center of Khan Yunis, a sniper team of the Duvdevan unit, which is a special IDF force, identified a number of terrorists near them. The fighters conducted accurate shooting and eliminated 9 Hamas terrorists. The fighters of the battle team of the Givati Brigade were operating in the Islamic University. Why in a university, you ask yourself? Because precise intelligence information showed that terrorist squads of Hamas are using the building to conduct fights against the IDF. But in the state of Hamas, Daesh, universities are a perfect place to conduct terrorism. This is what we learned. Also, weapons and military equipment were found inside classrooms, including AK-47 rifles, cartridges, ammunition, Hamas flags, and safes containing terrorist funds. In the searches of the university area, dozens of weapons warehouses were located that contained about 100 mortar bombs, ready-to-use cartridges, grenades, combat equipment, and maps used by Hamas terrorists. I'm serious. This is a place where the younger generation of the Gaza Strip is supposed to be educated for higher education to plan a better future. The whole place is filled with AK-47 rifles and Hamas films. Even in such places, Hamas is conducting the fighting. During an offensive activity in Khan Yunis by the 101st Combat Team, terrorists opened fire from buildings in the area. The fighters directed airstrikes and tank attacks to eliminate the terrorists. After that, the fighters carried out scans in the area in order to rule out the presence of additional terrorists. As part of scanning the buildings, the fighters of the 101st Battalion encountered terrorists barricaded inside a building. The IDF fighters launched an offensive and eliminated the terrorists who were deployed in the area. During the encounter, a fighter's sting dog was killed and 7 fighters were injured in various ways. Let's pray for the well-being of the wounded warriors, and I want to salute the heroic dog, a warrior on all fours, a true friend of the battle. The maneuvering forces continue to operate in the territory of the Gaza Strip with the assistance and coordination of the Israeli Air Force and the Navy of Israel. Only during the last day, 150 terror targets were neutralized in the Gaza Strip. In the El Mazi area, in the center of the Gaza Strip, forces from the Golani Brigade's combat team operated and directed an Air Force aircraft to attack many terrorists. The fighters uncovered over 15 underground shafts, and during a raid on a military building in the area, rocket launchers, missiles, unmanned aerial vehicles, and explosives were located. In addition, the fighters destroyed a rocket production machine that was located in the area. As part of the 98th Division activity in the Khan Yunis area region of the southern Gaza Strip, the fire complex of the Commando Formation of Israel directed an Air Force aircraft that launched an attack and eliminated over 10 terrorists in coordination with the fighters on the ground. During the fighting in the area in the previous day, dozens of terrorists were eliminated by the brigade's combat teams. In another operation in Khan Yunis, the fighters of Combat Team 4 identified a terrorist who planted an explosive device in the area near the forces. The brigade's fire complex directed an Air Force aircraft that attacked and eliminated the terrorist. When I say that someone is in his reserve duty, it means that that person has a day-to-day job that they left 3 months ago when this war started. They joined the army and started to operate in the position that they have in the IDF. Back at home, most of them have families, children, careers, they are students, and they have a future in the civilian life. And they gave it all up in order to wear a uniform and to defend the country of Israel. I'm also in reserve, as you know, and I am here and I am proud to defend the country of Israel against this terrorist organization, Hamas, Hezbollah, and other Iranian proxies that seek to destroy us. So please join us in prayer. Pray for the IDF soldiers that are risking their lives. Pray for their families. Pray for their future, for their jobs, that they will have a place to return to and work after this war will be over. These are things that you think about every day while you are defending the country. What will be the day after this war? So please join us in prayer and help us by sharing the truth of what really is happening here in Israel and who we are fighting. So thank you for standing with Israel, and keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem.